Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated, and welcome to another Books and Grapes. Woo, woo, woo. I have my glass, I think, Be Rooted. It's called Let's Get It, and that's my little glass. I'm having some Sauvignon Blanc. I never finished that bottle from the other night. You would have thought I did, but I didn't. But anywho, let's talk about the 5 books I read during this weekly reading journal summer edition. So I decided that I was going to make this my last week because school is fastly approaching. And so I wanted to make sure I got in the books that I've been reading as of late. So I read 5 books last week. They were all audio. Last week was a pretty busy week for me. I was having lunches and dinners with friends I'm not going to be able to see, and then some of them are teacher friends, so we've been trying to get together and enjoy this last part of the summer. So most of my time I've been in the car going to and fro, so all of my books for last week were audiobooks, and I had 5 really good ones, and I think all 5 had a lot of spice to it. So let's get started with some Sauvignon Blanc, and then we'll start with the books. I'm probably going to finish this little glass before I go to bed because it's late. So the first book I read, and I'll have them on screen, the first book I read and completed was The Guncle Abroad. So the week before I read Guncle by Stephen Rowley. It's about this man who has had this relationship with his niece and his nephew and going through like life things and they named him Guncle, the gay uncle, and just like ups and downs of life of being like an uncle, but also someone who wanted to have like this lavish life, but also have these kids who needed them. In the first book, you learn that their mother passes, and their mother was their Guncle's best friend, and she was also married to his brother. So it had a lot of layers with it, and so it was a good read. Even though there were parts that was sad, it was happy also. So The Guncle Abroad was about how their relationship had broadened and how they had different experiences together with the family, his brother moving on and things of that nature. So it was a good lighthearted read. The second book I read was 60 Days to Love by B Love. So B Love is known to do like some urban romance, and I'm starting to partake in B Love's books a little bit more. So 60 Days to Love was a second chance romance. The FMC and the MMC had a relationship in college. It went awry because of infidelity. So it was like almost 20 years later. But the 60 Days to Love is his way of trying to win her back, but also trying to win her from her intended husband. There's her family and her intended husband are like families in the community, and they're trying to be together so they can form this multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company of like a black family. But it was really good. It was really spicy, and pretty much he had 60 days to be like, you're mine. I don't know about that other man. Sorry to that other man, but you're gonna be my love for the rest of my life. The third book I read was Do Me by Cheryl Listener, about Braxton in London. I don't remember a lot about this book. I just remember that he was a well-to-do guy. She was a well-to-do therapist. And part of the story was letting down her own guard to find love and to think about love differently when it came to her. The fourth book I read, I was super interested in. So it's actually a cowboy thing. It was about the rodeo season, and it's 2 books so far. I think it's only 2, but I picked the first one up because it's by Casey Mills, and I like Casey Mills as an author. And her contribution to the book was Detry. So Detry was like this cowboy or this bull runner, something with the rodeo, and he was like this famous, popular cowboy, and being succumbed by love, because it's like athletes, right? During certain, I would call bull riding and horse riding athletic, because it reminds you of, you have to be athletic to do those things. So it's like the popular athlete not being, tied down by love. And that's exactly what happened. This woman pops up, piqued his interest, and he was like, damn everything else. He even lost the game. And she was like, no, go for the wild card, get back in the game, get back so you can be in the finals. And he was like, no, there's other things in life besides doing this. I won't be doing this all my life. And if I'm not going to be doing all my life, what I'm going to be doing with my life, and I want you to be a part of it. So you know how their story goes, but it was hot and steamy, baby. They was getting hot and steamy in this book. And then the last book that I read was also in this series, the rodeo season. This was about Titus, the other cowboy bull rider, and this was about Titus and Quinn by Charity Shane or Shanae. I'll have it on screen. And this was about Titus and Quinn's story. So Quinn was a well-to-do, respected agent with her family agency, and they signed these athletes up to be a part of their agency. And Titus was one of the guys that was up and coming under Detry, and she went to sign him, but the caveat is she met him before getting into the rodeo, and she had a little fender bender, and he came to her rescue. So you know how that go. She was his good luck charm and all of the things, and they did all the hot and steamy stuff. So these books were kind of hot and steamy this week. It got me through my little drives when I had to go to and fro. So yeah, that's how I kind of ended my weekly journal, reading journal this summer, and just reading all the things that I wanted to read. Now, I didn't complete any books on my summer TBR, not TBR, but I was reading this week. So I plan on returning back to some of those books. Some of those books are very summery, and so I don't know if I really want to return back to them this summer, or I'm just going to hold on to them for a season, or at least get through it through September and make sure I read those books. But I've been reading. And I think my last video, my Sunday video, so I primarily post on Sundays. Tuesdays have been a treat throughout the summer because I just have more time. But I primarily post on Sundays. And this past Sunday, I posted a book haul. And I said that probably was the last one. Well, I lied. So you probably get a midweek book haul to end the month of all of the August books that I bought. So keep coming back. Keep sharing your books that you read. Tell me if you read any of these books that's up here. If you haven't, you should read them. I primarily got them on Hoopla or Libby. So most of these books I did not buy this time around, and they were kind of free because it's using the library. So I'm going to drink my wine, not read no books tonight. I'm tired. I'll start reading again tomorrow. I read a little bit today, not much, but I'll start reading back tomorrow. I have 2 weeks before the school year starts, so pray for me. And that I can read my books when I want to read my books and not be engulfed by my 9 to 5 and my 5 to 9. But I love to have my 9 to 5 and my 5 to 9 because they're for me to buy these books. Anywho, as always, drop a book stack in the comments to let me know you stayed with me thus far. And then do all the other things. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And cheers. And I'll see you in the next video. Deuces. Bye.